The topic of today's video is accounting treatment for calls in arrears. First of all, let us understand the meaning of calls in arrears. When a shareholder fails to pay the amount due on allotment or calls, then that outstanding amount is called calls in arrears. Now, the accounting treatment of calls in arrears. The accounting treatment depends that whether we want to open the calls in arrears account or we do not open the calls in arrears account. We will discuss these points one by one. So, first of all, when calls in arrears account is opened, let us read this statement first. AB Limited issued 10,000 shares of rupees 10 each to the general public. That means at the nominal value shares are issued. On application, rupees 3 per share is demanded, on allotment rupees 5 per share, and on first and final call rupees 2 per share. A shareholder did not pay the first and final call on his 1000 shares. Now, this is the amount of calls in arrears, 1000 shares at the rate of rupees 2 per share. First and final call is in arrears. Okay. However, the outstanding amount was paid after 2 months along with interest at the rate of 10% per annum. Okay. Now, let us pass the journal entries one by one. So, first of all, first journal entry will be passed when company receives the amount of application money. Journal entry will be bank account debited to share application account. Total number of shares are 10,000 at the rate of rupees 3 per share, 30,000 is calculated. In the second journal entry, the amount of share application is transferred to share capital account. In the third journal entry, allotment money becomes due. Journal entry will be share allotment account debited to share capital account. Amount is 50,000. Total number of shares are 10,000. Okay. And amount of allotment per share is rupees 5. So, 10,000 multiplied with 5. Fourth journal entry, when company receives the amount of allotment money, bank account debited to share allotment account. In the fifth journal entry, when first and final call becomes due, journal entry will be share first and final call account debited to share capital account with the amount of rupees 20,000. How 20,000 is calculated? 10,000 shares at the rate of rupees 2 per share. Okay. Now, the important point is how calls in arrears should be treated. Now, in this case, calls in arrears account is opened with rupees 2,000. So, journal entry will be bank account debited rupees 18,000. How 18,000 is calculated? Total number of shares 10,000. On 1,000 shares, company has not received the calls in arrears. That means on 9,000 shares at the rate of rupees 2 per share, company has received the final call money. That means 18,000. And on 1,000 shares at the rate of rupees 2 per share, company has not received the amount of final call 2,000 and 20,000 here. Now, it is important to remember here that when we open calls in arrears account in this journal entry, then share first and final call account is credited with 20,000 with the same amount with which it was debited in the fifth journal entry. So, after this journal entry, after sixth journal entry, share first and final account will be closed in the books of accounts. Okay. Now, next journal entry, when company receives the amount of calls in arrears and the interest as well. Journal entry will be bank account debited to calls in arrears account to interest on calls in arrears. So, calls in arrears account here is credited. How this interest amount is calculated? The amount of calls in arrears is 2,000. Okay. And at the rate of 10% per annum, interest is to be calculated for 2 months. Okay. And this is how the amount 400 is calculated. So, bank account will be debited with rupees 2,400. Now, in the last journal entry, the interest on calls in arrears will be transferred to statement of profit and loss. This point is important. We know the nature of interest on calls in arrears is nominal. So all nominal accounts, the balances of all nominal accounts are transferred to the statement of profit and loss at the end of the year. So here rupees 400 is transferred to statement of profit and loss. Okay, so I hope the journal entries are clear when we open calls in arrears account. Let us discuss the journal entries when the calls in arrears account is not opened. Okay, so the same statement, first 5 journal entries will be exactly the same. For receiving application money, for transferring share application money to share capital account when allotment money becomes due. 4th journal entry, when company receives the amount of allotment money. 5th journal entry, when first and final call becomes due. Now in this 6th journal entry, here calls in arrears account is not opened. Bank account will be debited with rupees 18,000, 9,000 at the rate of rupees 2 per share. Okay, and to share first and final call account will be credited with rupees 18,000. Now focus on this point. In the 5th journal entry, share first and final call account is debited with rupees 20,000, but in the 6th journal entry it is credited with 18,000. Now in those cases where calls in arrears account is not opened, after 6th journal entry, share first and final call account is having a balance of rupees 2,000. This account, share first and final call account, will be closed when the company receives the amount of calls in arrears. Next journal entry, when the amount of calls in arrears is received. Now focus on this point here. Share first and final call account will be credited with rupees 2,000. Now after this journal entry, share first and final calls account will be closed in the books of accounts of the company. Okay, and how this 400 is calculated, we have already discussed this point. And in the last journal entry, interest on calls in arrears will be transferred to statement of profit and loss. So I hope the accounting treatment is clear. Now let us understand how calls in arrears is to be shown in the balance sheet. Now suppose if the company has not received the amount of arrears at the end of the year. So in the balance sheet, in the note share capital, there will be 2 headings, subscribed and fully paid up capital, subscribed but not fully paid up. Under the heading subscribed and fully paid up capital, 9,000 shares at the rate of rupees 10 each, rupees 90,000 will be written here. And in the heading subscribed but not fully paid up capital, on how many shares we have calls in arrears? On 1,000 shares, right? On 1,000 shares at the rate of nominal value is 10,000 is written, but calls in arrears amount was 2,000, which will be deducted from the nominal value. That means on these 1,000 shares company has received rupees 8,000 only. So 90,000 plus 8,000, 98,000 will be shown under the heading share capital in the balance sheet of the company. So I hope these points, meaning of calls in arrears, accounting treatment of calls in arrears and treatment of calls in arrears in the balance sheet, all these points are clear to all of you. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like icon, share this video and do subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching the video.